Welcome to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment program. Group projects were never this much fun. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Phoebe and I have some exciting news. We're going to be attending and presenting at Podcastapalooza Color Pop.
It's a 3-night, 4-day full hotel takeover, June 3rd through the 6th, 2022.
That means no one else, other than us swinger couples, thruples, and polyquads.
There will be seminars hosted by sex-positive educators, pool parties, meet and mingles, playrooms, party games, DJs, and nightly themed events.
Join us and all your favorite lifestyle podcasters for a fun-filled and educational weekend. Visit swingeruniversity.com for a link to the event.
This event has sold out each time it happens, and this year is selling quickly.
Orgasms are not guaranteed. Participation is not required. Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe. Today we're talking about how fun it is to soft swap. In addition, we have found out that when we soft swap with couples, it is never the same. Their parameters of what is comfortable and when makes soft swap swinging like opening a Christmas present for the first time. You know, the one you didn't open and rewrap.
But before we get started, Phoebe and I want to ask you for your help. It's our desire to reach more people with our podcast, and here's how you can help us. Rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Mention Swinger University on social media. Tell your friends about our podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. You can find all the links to our social media in the show notes of this episode. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate all the support you give to us and our podcast. Enough business. Let's talk about some sexy soft swapping.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we met this couple. So we met a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Real, we are going to call them. And we met them at a house party in our area many months ago, 3-4 months ago. They're a soft swap couple, and Mrs. Real is bi. So when we met them at this party, it was towards the end of the evening, and I recall that we were on our way out. Like the evening was done, we were ready to go home.
Yeah, we were probably getting
we're moving that direction towards the door. Yeah. When, as I recall, I was stopped by the gorgeous Mrs. Real, and there was an electricity happening, and we started making out, and then all of a sudden, I'm on the couch in front of everybody getting oral from Mrs. Real. Sorry, the other R. We do know a Mrs. Red.
Mr. Real and I were just kind of standing back and watching, and it was quite the show.
It was so good. She's very good. So that was super fun, and the connection was crazy between me and her. So I just fell in love with her right away. So we exchanged contact information. Months later, you know, holidays, stuff gets in the way. We visited them at their house. We did some side-by-side play with a little, maybe her hand wandered over to your penis at some point. But other than that, it's very, very light.
Very, very little contact between anybody but the ladies.
Yes. Her and I exchanged oral. That was nice. Yeah, we did get to play. That was really fun.
It was under the disco lights and watching you just have fun. Either lay back and have fun and enjoy her ministrations on your mons, or vice versa, where you got to play a little bit, taste a little bit, nibble a little bit.
And Ms. Real is very good at seduction. So she can give a lap dance like no other. So I was quite taken by that. and it was quite the turn on. I recall you also got one.
I did.
You got it first, but I need another one of those. I need another one. I was supposed to ask for one last time, but I forgot.
We just went straight to the...
I know. We went to naked in the jacuzzi to the bedroom. But that's coming up. So we go over there.
That first night was great.
It was great.
A good time. It was super laid back. It was just comfortable.
Yeah. And then we had him over to our house. Mm-hmm. We're developing the swing ship, right? Had him over to our house for drinks. There was no play. And then, again, holidays, family stuff got in the way. They went to a couple swinger resorts and were, cultivating their thing, right? So the holidays are over. We reach out to Mr. Real and...
Bum, bum, bum.
She's gone. Left.
No more Mrs. Real.
No more Mr. and Ms. Real. And I'm like, oh my God, not again.
Yeah, so we finally meet a couple that we hit it off. All four of us get along. We're comfortable with each other. They're comfortable with us.
Uh-huh. And
they're sexy. We're sexy.
Everybody's sexy. Everyone wants sexy time. I know. This is the thing, right?
And yeah.
So we were super sad. I was depressed for several days. And then we continued to stay in touch with Mr. Real and, encouraging his journey as a single guy in the lifestyle,
sure.
Effectively a single guy, and kind of supporting him. And
we see him at... we saw him at another event.
Yeah.
And that's when we, of course, found the bad news.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see him again, see that he was doing okay and everything was,
Yeah.
okay with him. And I use okay because...
He was okay, but you could tell he was...
He was hurt.
Yeah, he was suffering. So, but, he was putting a good face forward, right?
Right.
And then, so...
Dun, 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 dun.
She's back! Oh my God, she's back! Whee! Fireworks! Oh my God, she's back! We were like, what? What happened? Really? Okay, let's get together.
So this was the classic setup where here's a couple. They're not married, but they've been together for a while.
A long while.
He's into the lifestyle. She's not sure. Liked it. Wasn't comfortable, but there were some communication issues between the two of them, and they hadn't connected.
Right. And later, as the date progresses, which we're going to get into, we find out that she was into it. They just hadn't talked about it. So she's into it just as much as he, but they didn't really have that honest communication, because I will tell you, it is kind of scary when you really start to lay it out there and go, I really like spaghetti, and if you don't like it, then that's a deal breaker. And you kind of have to, that's kind of what you got to do. And then, or negotiate.
Sure.
That, right? And the other person might say, well, I could learn to like spaghetti, and that's okay if I have, Chinese every now and then, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get the picture. All right, so, Mrs. Real, she's back. Okay, so Ms. Real and I are texting. We have a FaceTime. We're chatting. She has a bunch of questions. Yes.
And the reason you're having a FaceTime with her is the whole them getting back together was partially the enticement of playing with us again.
Yes.
Which was, super flattering and very hot at this, all at the same time. And it was like, actually, we felt safe is what it was.
Yeah.
We were comfortable, and she was like, you know what, if we're going to do this, if we're going to experiment, we're going to try the lifestyle again, I want to do it with them.
Yeah.
So.
And they listened to some of our podcasts, and that helped too.
Yeah, I think it did. And it was reassuring to go, oh my God, I'm not an alien. This isn't weird. Other people go through this. We're not alone.
Right. So it was super fun, and I felt honored to support her and ask her questions. And then, of course, like I said, we took the opportunity to find out what some of their rules are and what their goals were. What's the goal for?
What do you want to do
for an evening together, right? And so we discovered what some of that was, some of the rules and some of the boundaries, and then we discovered more of that later when we were in the jacuzzi.
Right.
So the date is set. So her and I have great conversation, blah, blah, blah. We get a bunch of stuff worked out, and it's all great. Date is set. We get all ready, and we head to the house. And what were we wearing? I changed my outfits a couple times.
Oh, we were doing like, jeans and a nice shirt. It was pretty casual.
But mine
relaxed.
was like a crop top, low cut.
Oh, yours was
V,
hot. Yeah,
V
it was like
boobs
a
popping out of
crisscross with a plunging
applesauce.
neckline. So all the cleavage.
Yeah.
All the cleavage going on. I wore some tight jeans with no pants underneath, no underwear on.
You didn't have underwear?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Button flies with my little dangly going down the leg kind of thing.
Oh, and Mr. Real, he brought out his see-through black they're like long underwear.
Yeah, they're
like
boxer briefs. They're like a see-through boxer brief.
Yes. Oh, that's right. You have the long pant version. He had the boxer. He looked very nice in those. I did like those.
They're fun and sexy.
Yes. And then Ms. Real, she had on a very skin tight, sexy dress with nothing on underneath. That's it. Just a dress.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
One layer peel.
Yep. It's
peel
perfect.
It off. Just like a banana and eat it.
It's perfect. I think I had more clothes than anybody. I don't know what I was thinking.
So we get there.
Yes.
We, do the huggy, kissy, greedy thing, at the front door. And
the men decide to separate from the women.
Yeah. So the girls wanted to talk about some stuff and the guys wanted to talk about some stuff. And so we did a little road trip. I jumped into his sports car with him and we drove down to the local gas station. He just had some improvements made, some work done on it, and he wanted to test drive it. So I got to sit in a really fast car, and it was awesome. It was super visceral. So you can imagine you're about to, you're going fast and you're working the equipment and you're thinking about all the adrenaline going.
You were used to the airplane, but you just went up in the space shuttle, basically. What happened?
Yeah. And I ride motorcycles, and so I'm used to speed. But in a car, speed is such a different sensation. And
how's it different?
Well, you've got a box around you for the first part.
Right.
And you're holding on a motorcycle with your arms and your legs, and you can kind of grip the tank with your knees. But that sensation of acceleration, you're very exposed on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. And in a car, you're kind of in a box, although this was a convertible. We had the top down. Oh. And yeah, this was the fastest car I've ever been in. And
it was fun.
It was hot. And it made me want to get one and realize that if I got one, I would probably die or kill myself because I would drive it like it's supposed to be driven, which is, of course, not legal. So there you go.
Yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny that we probably broke the speed limit while driving the car.
Of course. So while Ed is off having a really good time, I'm also having a great time with Ms. Real. We are talking about all kinds of fun stuff. There was a fair amount of trying to find logistics of the cushions for the outdoor furniture and stuff, and trying to get the fire pit lit. But once that all happened, we were sitting and chatting and talking about stuff and upcoming events, and kind of getting a little bit of housekeeping out of the way, so to speak, as to what we wanted to happen for the night. So you guys came back. We sat at the fire pit for, I don't know, not very long.
5 seconds? 10.
Yeah.
It was a little bit longer than that, but yeah.
It felt like 5 seconds. While it took an hour to get the thing lit, it was you guys were there for 5 seconds. So yeah, that was worth it.
All that build up for...
Yeah. So there's that. So, but the good part is we all just decided to get naked and go to the jacuzzi. Ha ha, wee.
I will take naked jacuzzi time over a fire pit.
Any day.
Every day.
Yeah. So off we went, which was great. The lighting was great. It was very intimate, private. No one could see. So we could just do whatever we wanted in there.
Right.
A lot of conversation happened in there, which was great, because we really got to know a little bit more about their dynamic and their journey, and how I loved listening to them and how communication got missed.
Yeah. That they went the opposite directions and just kind of passed each other without even
he's
realizing.
Going 80 or 125 and she's going 60, and boop, they wanted the same thing. They were just at a different...
It's the stuff that we went through when we first got into it, where it was like, if you don't say it, no one can read your mind.
Right.
Which is hilarious, because we were also watching an episode of Playboy's Swing.
Yes.
I think that's what it's called. Anyway, and the woman in there was like, you should just know me. You should just know how I'm feeling. No one knows your feelings unless you verbalize them, because, ladies and gentlemen, no one can read minds. That's both a blessing and a curse that we can't read each other's minds. Leave a little mystery, but it does require you to speak up and say what you mean and say what you want.
Exactly.
And
but sometimes, but sometimes, you don't really feel safe, or it's scary to say what you want, because you think that could really be like the end.
Oh yeah.
If you say something that feels very, very revealing, or just like raw.
We had so many conversations when we first started where it was, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I understand that you're nervous about playing with other couples, just as an example. Phoebe was very nervous about watching me with another woman, and I'm like, I'm okay if you get to play but I don't for a little bit.
Right.
That was that was an uncomfortable conversation to have, because it was, me kind of giving something up and her kind of understanding that dynamic and how it was going to work out. But you have to have those conversations. You've got to go through that in order to get past it. So if you don't open up, if you don't kind of expose yourself,
how are you gonna
know?
There's a sex therapist I was listening to today that did a TED Talk. Oh, her name is escaping me right now. She's very well known, and she was the sex therapist on that Playboy channel also. And she was basically saying that relationships are elastic. They're not static. Right. And they stretch and they grow. And people really want to grow, and they want to have someone that can grow with them. They want to expand, they want to grow, and test boundaries and become more.
And that was what Mr. Real and I were talking about in the car, about exercising the relationship. If you just kind of stay the course and you don't push boundaries, you don't go on a vacation together, you'll never know what that stress is like in order to test your relationship. And swinging is a really significant test of your relationship. It will push your boundaries, it will push your comfort, and we learned that our relationship was much stronger after we started swinging because we exercised it, right?
Yeah.
We tested it and it survived. And so we tested a little bit more and it survived, and we kind of,
right,
just like going to the gym, right? You work those muscles. What do? They get stronger, they get bigger, they get
right,
hotter.
Right. And I like the gym analogy. So one of the fears that I had was, if we test those boundaries, then that means we're going to be poly. And we've had friends say this to us too.
Right.
That if I get into swinging, then all of a sudden, what's the next progression? Poly? And I go, no. And I totally understood what,
right.
I mean, yes, could be, but for us, no. And that was my fear. And so the gym analogy would be, just because you like working out and you go to the gym 6 days a week doesn't mean you're going to be competing in bodybuilding competition.
Right.
You may not want to do that. You just may want to do it for yourself, and that's good enough. Or you may want to go compete and take it to that next level. So
what you do with the workout is entirely up to you.
Exactly.
And this episode's really fun because we started soft swap because it was comfortable and we knew what our boundaries were, but we've progressed to full swap, and actually now we're not swinging back to full soft swap all the time.
Right.
But we've started to realize that we kind of like soft swap because of the fun stuff that happens in it. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's elastic. You're constantly changing.
Right. And as we're going to get into the bedroom time, you'll kind of see how. Yeah. So let's get busy. All right. So we're done with the jacuzzi. We were touching. Eventually we were touching and having sexy conversation, and having real honesty about the lifestyle.
Wandering underneath the water.
Yes. Yes. So we get out. It's starting to get late. We get out. We go into the bedroom, and so we're all laying on the bed. And there was some nervousness about, like, how do we get this started? Ms. Real was like, "How? Usually girls start." And so we had some suggestions, and what we ended up doing was giving Ms. Real a 6-handed massage.
Right.
Which was a lot of touching, and it was super sexy. She really loved it. It felt really great. And then I was taking my hair and rubbing it up and down her legs and over her butt and between her legs. And
right.
And I
was laying on one side, and Mr. Real was laying on the other side. And, she got the massage. She was on the receiving end for a little bit, and we were kind of touching and caressing her for a while. And then she, of course, started like touching and caressing back.
Oh.
And that's kind of how it started to progress.
Oh, I missed that part because my head was down. I was doing the hair thing.
You were busy.
I was mesmerized by her ass. It's a very nice ass.
She's got a very nice butt.
She does. So then that must have been how it progressed to hand jobs.
Right.
So I'm giving you a hand job. Ms. Real's giving Mr. Real a hand job. And we're all taking it in, right?
Little side by side
play. I'm watching her and her techniques with him, thinking, I got to take notes, because if the night progresses, I need to know how to do what she does, because he clearly likes that.
Right.
So I'm taking notes and watching her. It's super sexy.
And it was fun listening to their conversation and what they were saying, because she was like, oh my God, this is so hot.
I know.
That's so hot. Like watching somebody else have sex next to you. And it's fun because it's kind of like the training wheels are coming off the bike, and they're like, oh my God, I can actually ride a bike.
Right.
And that like
new,
fresh baby deer just wandering across the field, little wobbly legs. It's so cute and endearing, and it's kind of refreshing because you get a little not jaded but familiar.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're to the point where it's just like, take the clothes off. Not quite, but close.
No, but yeah.
Put the condom on and just start going at it. It's not like that. I mean, there's obviously some foreplay. We love foreplay and lots of, touching and whatnot.
But that sense of discovery for the first time, that's what's really...
It's that new swinger smell.
Oh my God.
It's that... I remember what that was like.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So then we progressed to blowjobs. So I'm giving Ed a blowjob, and Ms. Real's giving Mr. Real a blowjob. And that was even more sexy, if you could imagine. Her lips wrapped around his cock was so damn sexy. Something about her lips.
Freaking distracting trying to figure out, should I watch you giving me a blowjob or watch her giving him a blowjob? Because that's hot. Like, I'm watching the porn or I'm like experiencing the porn. God, what am I supposed to do? Which, of course, is the $1 million problem with swinging, which is being distracted.
Oh, yeah. Experience or watch. Yes, I know. So this went on for a little while. It was so good. It was so good.
Little build up going.
I could see it. Lips on a penis. Oh. And so then we decided, I think at some point, we just decided to swap partners.
Yeah.
And so myself and Ms. Real had a conversation early on about using a condom for oral and for play.
Sure.
Now, they weren't ready for full swap, so it was going to be a condom for oral. But the condom wasn't for safety. The condom was a sense of security for her. She wanted to use it because it seemed less intimate if it was used.
Right. It's that symbolic barrier.
Yeah.
Because I was still getting a blowjob.
Right. Right. But it's less intimate. I get it. I get it. I understood it. And I was happy to comply. I was like, that's fine.
And
We've done that with another. We've done that with another couple.
And it was fantastic.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah, it was good.
I never asked you about that.
As they say, there's no such thing as a bad blowjob. I mean, there are, but...
Yeah, I can imagine. But you probably haven't had too many in the lifestyle. Bad blowjobs.
No, not too many in the lifestyle. I had a few in my life, but yeah.
And what was I gonna say about the blowjob? I got lost track. Anyway, it was fabulous. Wait, it was fab. Okay, so here, rewind. We swap. I'm giving Mr. Real a hand job. Ms. Real's got the condom. She gets it on you. First time she'd ever put a condom on.
Right, she was saying that. She was like...
A penis at all, right?
Use condoms. I'm sure she'd used them in the past, but it's probably been a while.
Mm-hmm. So that was kind of fun. And so then the condom's on you. She's giving you head, which was really... Now I'm watching her give you head and watching her lips on your penis. And I was really impressed with that. And that was really exciting and really hot. And I'm stroking Mr. Real, and we're just very, very fixated on Ms. Real and what she's doing. It's very mesmerizing. And at some point we took a little break, and I want to give it, I want to give it to Mr. Real, because he's like a racehorse man. He was like ready to go. You could tell he was just ready to go. And he was like, I could see he was a little frustrated with the stop and start and kind of holding back, but
right.
But I appreciate his dedication to just sticking to the plan, because the plan was to just go slow that night,
right,
and not go any further than what they said they wanted to do.
He stayed in the boundaries. He stayed in the lane. He didn't push up against the fence. He wasn't trying to get out.
Right.
It just happened. But
it did.
It's hard because
it is hard. He was a little distracted, I could tell, and he seemed a little worried. But that's fine. I mean, it didn't distract or much from the experience. I mean, it's just, you notice it and you just move on and do something different.
And he was mostly asking questions about it, was she okay?
Yeah.
Was this okay? And both of them were both like, yeah, this is good. This is fun. And like, in general, they were having more fun than I think they thought they were going to have.
I think so too.
They're like, wow, this was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. And kissing was off the table too, sort of.
Like the
you could
deep, passionate
make out was off the table.
The Ed kind of kissing.
Yes. Oh my God.
I had to reel back.
But you could, 2-3 kisses, and then like
there was a little bit of kissing going on, so it was good.
It was good, but not the full on. But that was fine. And then during the evening, they took a couple breaks in the bathroom, had a little powwow to touch base.
Probably a check-in.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened in the secret.
No, we don't. We didn't ask.
Boudoir.
It wasn't our place. If they wanted to share, they would have. So yeah, we just gave them the space, and you and I just played. At one point after the second powwow, or during the second powwow, I decided that you needed to finger me, and because I really wanted to squirt.
Well, yeah, and they kind of took a break when I decided I was going to penetrate you, and we've skipped one of the hottest parts of the whole frickin' evening.
Oh my God, what?
Which I'm going to go through right now.
Okay.
So, blowjobs and condoms are all fun and nice, but there was a point at which I needed to fuck something. Someone. Anything. And so I...
Was I there?
I peeled the condom off and lubed up, and Phoebe was going down on Mrs. Real at this point. And so she's face down.
Oh, yes.
With her face in her pussy and just going to town and having a good time.
Oh, yes. This was so
And I said,
good.
That looks really good. I'd like to play too.
Oh, that was so good.
So I climb up behind Phoebe and insert myself into the situation.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
And what was fucking hilarious was
great.
I'm fucking Phoebe, and every time I thrust into her, I push her face into Mrs. Real's
pussy.
Yeah, so Mrs. Real is getting basically
tongue fucked,
proxy fucked by me.
Yes.
And it was hot, and she was like, "Oh my God." Mrs. Real was just
beside herself.
She was like, "Oh my God, this is so hot. This is the hottest thing I've ever done." And
she's giving head to Mr. Real.
And she decided at that point, she was like, "This is really hot. I need a dick in my mouth."
Right. And then I said it's like the sexy version of Centipede.
Which I almost lost my erection at that point.
Sorry.
But then, I recovered. But that kind of dynamic with like the whole daisy chain thing going on is just so hot. So hot.
That was hot.
And it was shortly after. Oh, and we got to a point where, gosh, what was going on? Oh, it was later. Anyway, there was a point at which I was fucking Phoebe and behind her, but I was holding Mrs. Real's hips because they were kind of spooning.
Oh.
And so I was thrusting into Phoebe at the same time, grabbing Mrs. Real from the front. And so she could feel me pushing through Phoebe. It was fun. So
that was really fun. That was really good. And then we all got up, switched positions, and I was on the edge of the bed on my back. Ed was inside of me, and then Mrs. Real was licking my pussy at the same time that Ed was inside me. Oh my God, it felt so good. It was so fucking hot. The way her tongue was crossing over the top of my clit where the root is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's one of those positions / combinations of people that you can't just do with two people. You have to have a third person to be able to get that.
Right.
Because you can't eat your own pussy at the same time.
Right.
You're being fucked, and I'm not that flexible to be able to eat and fuck at the same time.
And this is the beauty of having sex with other people, because you get extra.
Yeah, there's assistance for things that you can't reach, which is super cool. Now, I will say, trying to have sex at the same time someone else's head is down.
I know.
A little awkward, and I didn't give her a concussion, but
I was wondering how that all worked with the head, and you were still inside me, and
it was challenging, and
but you were up for the challenge.
I know, I was up for the challenge. I'm always up for that challenge, and of course, too, it's also really tempting to pull out and stick it in her mouth. We weren't doing that night, so
no.
But like, that's usually the other thing that goes on with all
see,
of that.
we haven't done that. Stick it in me, stick it in a mouth, stick it in me, stick it in a mouth.
That'll be fun.
See, there's another thing for the list. That'd be fun.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So much fun.
This is the stuff that happens. Like, so much great stuff happens, and then you forget some of the details.
We were going to record this the day after.
I know.
The next morning, when it was all fresh in our head.
And literally, this has only been 4 days ago. I know. So yeah, there you go.
Clearly, we need to repeat it so that the memories are fresh.
We just need to do the day after, the morning after. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Or we just set the mics up in the room and we just record the whole
have
thing live.
threatened to do that. We have threatened to do that.
That would be hot.
Ooh, that'll be our Patreon.
If you're interested in listening to
some live sex
recorded, let us know in the comments or email us and tell us all about it.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Yeah. Okay, so then after that,
I'm distracted. What are we doing?
Well, you were making me squirt, which was fabulous.
So they had taken a break. We continued having sex because they were talking and we were fucking, because that's what we were in the mood for at the time.
Oh yeah. Oh God, and so good.
We got a towel out and some fingering was going on and some squirting. And both of them kind of got down into the splash zone to kind of see what was going on.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to initiate a new couple into the splash zone.
The splash zone. Get them, what is that?
Baptized.
After that, then we got up, tiled off, and kind
of wrapped up at that point.
We did. Yeah, the evening was a little late, and Ms. Real, wanted to kind of...
I think they needed to reconnect, and I think they wanted to, like, have some them time for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was still horny, and so, of course, I committed to taking care of you when we got back, but... continued the evening later.
Yes. And they may have had an early morning too. I just didn't know. But they, I could tell it was winding down and we needed to go. So we did. We thanked them and off we went.
Yeah. And we've got plans with them for the rest of the summer and trying different things, and it should be great.
It should be really great. I'm so excited. So if you haven't figured it out, Ed and I love all kinds of sex, whether it's soft or full. And it seems that soft swap lends itself to a lot of creativity that full swap cannot, unless you're with a swing ship couple. Full swap in a group tends to be regularly predictable, whereas soft swap has the element of surprise and exploration that can change at any moment. We encourage you to not discount those couples that only want a soft swap. You may be in for a really good time.
So get a little creative in the bedroom and have some fun. The Swinger University needs your help. If you like our podcast, let the world know, or at least tell a fellow swinger or two. Not only will you be helping us, you'll be helping your fellow swing lifestylers. Please rate and review us on Apple, Google, and Amazon podcasts. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. We're at TikTok at Swinger University, Twitter and Instagram at SwingU Podcast. Email us at swingeruniversity@gmail.com and visit our website at swingeruniversity.com, where you can find more information as well as visit our affiliates page to get a free 30-day membership at Cassidy.com. Thank you for listening to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment podcast.